Hello and welcome to the second video in my Book of Shadows series. I am Nefer Khepri. I have rebranded, no longer of Magical Musings. I am now the Cozy Intuitive Creative. I'm here today to talk about the various types of journals you can use for a Book of Shadows and how to break your fear of that first blank page. Now, I want to preface this by saying, I think it's really important if you have not maintained any type of a journal up till now, but you wish to put all of your spiritual practices and beliefs into a Book of Shadows, practice in a regular journal first. Don't run out and buy a beautiful leather tome like this one here, and then just start using it willy-nilly. The reason is because in lesson number 3, we're going to learn about how you can organize your Book of Shadows and all these pages and how to keep them pretty much in some type of an order that is logical and makes sense to you. Because the order of the information you place in your Book of Shadows may not be the same as the order I place information into my own Book of Shadows. You know, and that's the way it is. We're all individuals, right? We all do things our own way. So instead of immediately beginning to work and whatever you're going to choose as your final version for your Book of Shadows, practice. You practice first in an art journal, and it can be any type. It can be like a composition notebook from the dollar store will even work. You know, if money is an issue, you can do that. It's just going to be for practice. It's not going to be for anybody else's eyes but yours. And if you have never worked in an art journal with these huge blank pages, they're very scary and intimidating, you're going to need to get a little bit of practice in before you jump into your Book of Shadows, okay? I'm just saying, you know. And man, it is hot in here. Every time I talk about spiritual matters in my videos, it gets so hot because all my guides, they step forward and I feel their energy and I just start to sweat. It was cold up here when I started filming. And now I'm sweating. Okay, there. Oh, it's a great joke now. I hear a bunch of them just laughing it up. And yes, I am through with menopause. It is not that. Okay, guys, tone it down, please, please, please. Thank you. Practice journal. This is mine. This is a Strathmore mixed media journal. They are available on Amazon. I will have my Amazon affiliate link below. I get anywhere from 1% to 3% commission for anything bought through my own links here on my channel and elsewhere where I share them. And it's a really nice way for you to help to support me and my channel so I can keep providing content for you. And you do not pay any more than anyone else using a different link on Amazon to order the same item, okay? And I thank you so much. But Strathmore Mixed Media, I've been using these, I don't even want to say for how long, but Strathmore is a really, really old paper company. And they also do their own journals, and it's really nice mixed media paper by Mixed Media. This means you can use watercolor, acrylics, gouache. You can use colored pencil, fine liners, brush markers. Did I say oil pastels? I don't remember. But anything and everything on here, collage. This paper takes it all. It really does. I've done it all on here. So I vouch for Strathmore mixed media paper 1000%. It is my personal favorite. This is like, I don't know, how many Strathmore journals have I done over the years? I don't know, 7 or 8. It's my favorite art journal. It really is. And we're going to talk in the video in a couple minutes here about getting over the fear of the blank page. Now, the rest of this video, it's going to look a little bit not wonky, but sound wonky maybe, just because I've got an intro there. It was meant to be a standalone video for my sister channel, the Cozy Creative Intuitive, which I know is confusing. It's the same name as this one. I just want to see if the YouTube algorithm will pick up my art journaling videos here and show them to people, because that's why I started a brand new channel, because the algorithm may not like this and not many of you may be shown these videos. And if that's the case here at this channel, I'll just go in and mark them all private, and just do them over at the new channel and be sure everyone here knows that content is going to be exclusively at my other channel, the Cozy Creative Intuitive. Okay, so, and I'll have the links below so you can check that out. I'm also over on Instagram as the Cozy Creative Intuitive. There you go. The author Deborah Blake just recently started following me. I about fell out of bed. You know how when you get out of bed, and well, around here I was checking the hourly forecast on my phone, and I saw the notification from Instagram across the top of my phone. It says Deborah Blake just start following you, and I'm like, Deborah Blake. And I'm like, I only know of one Deborah Blake, and she'd never follow me. And I go look, and it was the one Deborah Blake, and I was just like, whoa. And I kind of went like this, and I'm a side sleeper, and so I was already toward the side of the bed. I about fell out of the bed. And of course I had to DM her and thank her and be like, oh my God, just a teeny bit of fangirling, just a teeny. But I do have all her books, all her decks. I totally love her work. I highly recommend anything that Deborah Blake has written. Another big one, Silver Raven Wolf. I recommend her four main books, which are To Ride a Silver Broomstick, To Stir a Magic Cauldron, To Light a Sacred Flame, and then she has another book called Angels Are Companions in Magic. The best books, the best. And of course, everything by Deborah Blake and her decks, with artwork by Elizabeth Elba, who is just so supremely talented. Okay, fangirl section is now over, but getting back to your journal, we're going to talk about how to get over the fear of the blank page, and I show you that in a little tutorial. It's fun. All you'll need is, if you don't already have a journal that has that scary first blank page still intact, just get out a blank sheet of white paper, just regular typing paper, and you're going to need a pencil. And if you want, you can also use a pen. I use both simultaneously in the tutorial, and you may want to try that too. So without further ado, here's the rest of this video where I go through the tutorial with you on how to break the fear of the blank page. And then I talk about other kinds of journals you can use as your practice journal before you jump into your actual Book of Shadows. And if you've already been journaling, or you're familiar with art journaling, or you're just a very artistic, creative person, you can go ahead and, jump right into your Book of Shadows. Now, the next video, we'll talk about how to organize it. Just a few suggestions from me. And of course, as with everything, take what works for you, leave the rest behind. I've done that my whole life, and it's worked out great. So thank you all for watching, and without further ado, here is how to get over the fear of the blank page and learning about different brands of art journals. Welcome to my channel. I'm Nefer Khepri, the Cozy Intuitive Creative. Today, I'm going to talk to you about our Book of Shadows. This is part 2 in my series, and we're going to go back to the very basics. I'm going to discuss various types of journals that you can use for your Book of Shadows. And remember, this is basically a witchy version of art journaling. So I'll be talking about art journaling and giving you my opinions of these journals and what I think to be the very best. So stay tuned. I'm going to work on cracking open my brand new journal, and we're going to do something to that first page so that it's not so scary. Now that first page is here, staring up at us, and you're like, what am I going to do? Well, typically, when you go into an art journal, you don't have any specific ideas of what you're going to do. You just know you want to, play. Art journals are play. If you think of your art journal as play, you have pretty much won the war with the blank page. Because then you can take a pen or a pencil and just start making marks. And when you make marks, we often, we need to be in control when we create on a blank page. For that first page, I want you to hold the pencil way up here, or hold your pen way up here. This way you can't control these marks. You can't make any fine marks. It's going to be kind of like scribble scrabble, whatever it is that you do. And that's good because all you're doing is breaking in that journal. So, you know, you can think about maybe sketching a really basic composition, or you can just do shapes. You could even, let me find, here's my Tombow Furunosuke. These Tombow Furunosuke pens, they are waterproof also. Or you can go dominant hand, non-dominant hand, and draw with both. You know, you can do that. And so you're just making some marks. And, you know, I may want to do a couple of really super wonky flowers here, or these might be some kind of weird plants, or maybe they're little alien creatures. I don't know. You know, maybe they are. Let's see. But again, it's just something really, really basic. They almost look like radishes. It could be too that I'm hungry, but these look like radishes to me. So they're going to be radishes, and they're here in the garden. And there's like, you know, there's other radishes coming up out of the ground here. And this is, you know, the ground and the rocks and everything that's down here and the roots. And here are some other little radishes that have not been yanked out yet, or maybe these escaped. I don't know. They may have escaped. I don't remember what radishes, what their leaves look like, but they're going to be pretty much like other leaves in terms of having a vein down the center. And then, you know, you can add more detail if you want. But there are my psychotic radishes, you know? It doesn't have to be fine art, folks. It doesn't. And you don't have to be so wrapped up about that first page either. Another thing you can do, let's flip the journal over and let's pretend I have two first pages. I mean, theoretically, you do. And there are no lines. So if you do believe that you have totally screwed up your journal because you fucked up that first page and, oh my God, I've got to throw the whole thing out now or tear out the page or whatever, please do not remove pages from your journals. Your journal is going to end up being a very important record of how your creativity evolves over time and how your personal symbols evolve over time. Our personal symbols will make themselves known to us in our art journals. Please don't remove any pages. Do not be tempted to remove pages, okay? Leave them in there, because trust me, the time will come when you fill up that journal and you'll go back and look at it. You'll be like, wow, look, I went from this to this. You know, you'll see that natural progression. And you'll also be able to go through it and identify all your personal symbols. And in subsequent videos, I'll be talking about personal symbols, what they are, and how to identify them. So if you've totally screwed up your other page and you really, really hate your psychotic radishes, I actually think they're kind of cute. You can flip it over and use the other first page. And now if you really don't want to do anything, some people like to do a title page in their art journals, which is great. I don't tend to do that, but, you know, it's just that I've been working in art journals for so many years. I don't see a need, but some may feel a need to do a title page. Perfectly fine. You can do that if you want. Or you may be so nervous about messing up that very first page. How to get over that? Create on the next page. Or create over here on technically page number 3. In the majority of good art journals, you can create on both sides of the paper. This is Strathmore. Strathmore, you can create on both sides of the paper. Archer and Olive also, Quirky Cup Collective also. Ty Fossey, you can, as long as you don't use water-based artistic mediums on both sides. You can do water-based on one side and then like oil pastels, colored pencils on the other side. So that's what you do. Just turn it over. Another thing that people recommend is to just take your pencil again and just make all sorts of marks, you know, or even just, you know, scribble like crazy on the page, what have you. But as far as I'm concerned, for my new Strathmore art journal, I'm going to go with the radishes. So in another art journaling video, I'll be working on this and I'll show you how to, you know, what I do when I add color, how I can build up some layers here with various art mediums, keeping in mind half of it's done in pencil, half of it is done in pen. I may want to go over the pencil marks with pen, I don't know, but we'll see for next time. This one is by Strathmore, and Strathmore is a company that does art papers and journals, and they've been around for a really long time. I have been using their papers and their journals, I don't even know for how long. And then I put the sticker on the wrong side and also upside down, but you know, whatever. The paper's blank. It doesn't matter what side you start from. But again, it's really nice. And this paper, I don't even have to test it because I've been using it for so long. It takes everything. This is their mixed media paper. It's acid-free, 100% cotton, so it's not going to crinkle up like other papers do if you add something with water to it. It has 64 pages. It measures 7.75 inches by 9.75 inches, which is 19.7 centimeters by 24.8 centimeters. And the paper is 90 pound, 190 GSM. So again, really nice. I've used everything on this paper. Watercolor pencils, colored pencils, acrylic, gouache, collage. It can take it. I'm going to introduce you to each of these journals in turn and give you my opinions of them and how you can get them and all that. But these are the ones I consistently use for art journaling. This is String and Space is the name of the company. I did do a swatch test. I always recommend everyone do a swatch test on the last page of their journal. I haven't cracked into it yet. I'm just going to start doing some little paintings with gouache, and so they will be going into this journal. But this is again by String and Space, and their logo is a little star. And this large 9x12 journal is by the same company. This paper is really nice. This is scrap paper I put on my table or on my desk, depending on where I'm working, to protect the surface of my furniture. This is a watercolor blend I did on here using a ton of water. I mean, the colors were just swimming in it, and it took it forever to dry. But I do that because I want to max out the water content to be sure that paper can really take it. And this took it really well. And then on this side, I have different brands. Another reason you should test, even if it says it's for watercolor, because different brands will react differently on the paper. That's very important to know. Use your mediums in the extreme so you know what is the maximum that this paper can tolerate. And again, it's just 9x12. Nice thick paper. This would also make good journal for mixed media if you want to combine your art mediums and use watercolor and acrylic and gouache and pencils and all that fun stuff. That's that one. This is just some tests I did, but I'm very familiar with the paper, so I didn't go whole hog with my tests in this one. But here is some examples. Take time to do what makes your soul happy. And this is one of my stickers. I made this design in Procreate, created the sticker. This is from a watercolor paper pad I purchased at Michael's, and then I watercolored this background here and also doodled on it and did the lettering. This page was featured on Michaels.com. They reached out to me on Instagram and asked if they could feature it. So that made me really happy. Now, yeah, what does self-care mean to me? This is my self-care journal. This page was also featured by Michaels, and it says, "My feelings matter." And I did this all with shimmer watercolor paint. I'm special and unique. And this again, was this done with watercolors or with markers? This is done with Tombow markers, which are water-based, and you can actually blend them with a brush. So just going forward here, I love this page. This was a prompt from a little journaling class I took a few years ago, 2 years ago actually. And the prompt was, what does authenticity mean to you? So this is the title, What Authenticity Means to Me. What I have here is it means that you're empathic. It's being sincere, showing that you're a person of integrity. You speak and believe in the truth, strength, compassion, happiness, vulnerability, friendship, fidelity, love, honesty, courage, mutual respect. And down here in the murky waters and in the mud down here is the subconscious mind. So I enjoyed making this page. And I think, oh yeah, here's a little watercolor / collage that I did. All I did was lay my hands on the paper and trace them, and then I painted them. I painted a watercolor galaxy in my hands, spattered some white Dr. P.H. Martins on here, and I say, I use my energy wisely. I have a dream. Create. Celebrate who you are. Do what you love. Life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. I wish I could remember where I got these stickers from. And then over here we have Shine On, Work Your Magic, Do Your Thing. Those are examples of what you can do in an art journal. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece, and typically it is not. Our sketchbooks are for us. Our eyes only, okay? You don't have to worry about anyone else seeing a journal by a company called Ty Fossey, and they create gorgeous embossed covers. This is called Mystic Gaze. It's available at their website. I also have an affiliate code for Ty Fossey, and it saves you 15% on your order. Also, for many of us these days, budget is a concern. Ty Fossey is more affordable than Archer and Olive, and you're getting the same quality. I would not be an affiliate for them if I did not absolutely love their journals and use them myself. I finished a journal, oh gosh, when was it? Right around Thanksgiving time, and I can't even show it because it's a mess. I use it as an art journal, and the cover is ruined. This one I just started, and they sent it to me when I became an affiliate, and I just love it. And the surface, it feels like pebbled grain leather. It isn't. It's vegan, you know, as is Archer and Olive. All of Archer and Olive's stuff is vegan as well. And then you have the Ty Fossey logo here, and this book belongs to page. Usually you have to glue these first 2 pages. They don't sit well in a journal, which is what I have to do in my Archer and Olives. But the Ty Fosseys, they lay really well. You don't have to do that, so you don't waste this sheet here. So I was going to use this one as a bullet journal. I actually started working on this one last fall, but then I kind of got away from it. But, you know, I was going to do full moon in whatever sign it was in for the month of October. This is my mood tracker. You know, I can use it next year if I want. But what I'm probably going to do is scan all these and use them as a template and put them in another journal. And it's just me practicing my hand lettering, my calligraphy. This is faux calligraphy. If you want to learn how to do this, let me know. It's not half as complicated as it looks. If you can do this writing in cursive or even printing. It's really simple. The trick is in the type of pen you use. These I did with Tombow watercolor brush pens. So, as you can see, you can use a brush and blend the colors. So it looks variegated. So I love their brush markers. And this is done with their Fudenosuke. And there is the nib. And this nib responds to pressure. So if you go heavy on the downstroke, light on the upstroke, you'll get this calligraphy look. So I'm using this Typhossi as an art journal because I decided not to use it as a bullet journal. So I have here a page. I threw, again, a bunch of water on it. It did crinkle up, but then I used my heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, you can use a blow dryer to dry your page. Just remember to be constantly moving your blow dryer or your heat gun on the paper, because otherwise you can burn your paper. And nobody wants to do that. So I painted this watercolor background. I just let the paint drip all over and do its thing, dried it, and then I added the stickers because it made me think of a jungle scene. So I've got a jaguar there and a monkey with a, what do you call it, cockatoo on his head, and bananas and pineapple, and and then this around the edge. Oh gosh, that ripped somehow. How did that? Oh, that's the sticker coming up. Okay, I'll just have to put some glue on there later. I use acrylic markers for the border, a black one and a white one, and these are by, which ones did I use on here? Artex. And no, I'm not affiliate for them, but that's, I like to let people know what I've used. This page, all I did was I put some washi along the edges. If you want that straight edge look in your journals, you'll want to invest in some washi, just cheap and expensive. You can buy it at any craft store. Find it online on Amazon. Bunch of paper. I put a bunch of water on the paper. And then I added the colors I wanted, and I basically just wanted to stick with the primaries. And I let them blend to see what they would do. They created this really cool dotted texture all over the page, which I think is really neat. And also, a couple of things showed up in the shapes. So I don't know if you can see, but what struck me immediately was right here in the center. But got a face here, energy coming off of the head, and then like a cloak. I don't know. To me, being raised Catholic, it made me think it was the Virgin Mary. It could be just any type of goddess image there. I saw some other stuff down in here and over here and here. And when you practice intuitive art, which is what I'll be showing you how to do, you basically, you create your background first, and then you go over it with a pen or a pencil, and you outline the things that you feel that you're seeing there. And that becomes your images. And then over here, because the dots in the Typhossi are a little bit dark, that's the only thing I don't like about the Typhossi. It doesn't personally bother me, but like on this page where I'm going to be using watercolors and nothing else, I did brush some watercolor ground on here. It's like gesso, and I may be using terms that you're familiar with, and if I am, let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to put together a cheat sheet or something. If you'd like that in PDF form, do let me know. It's no problem to make that for you. But I just spread that on there, and now it's all set for watercolor, and those dots, the dot grid, will not show up through the watercolor. If I just put them on here, you look here, you can see the dot grid in the yellow easily, and a little bit in the orange over here, So I'm going to be, doing more work in this. I've got some witchy sketches in here I'll be working on. That is the Typhossi. This one, for those of you, these companies, Typhossi, I don't know where they're located at. I know they ship worldwide, and I think they have warehouses pretty much in America and overseas. So I don't think the tariffs are a problem for them. For those of you who are in Australia and you cannot order from Archer and Olive because it's prohibitively expensive, because one, Archer and Olive is in America, and number two, the tariffs. This company is the Quirky Cup Collective, and she is in Australia. You can order from her. And she makes her journals, first of all, they're gorgeous. I love her journals. And secondly, and most importantly, the paper is absolutely fantastic. I don't know what kind of magic is in this paper, but it can take everything. It's taken all my fountain pens, no problem, even my juicy ones. Watercolor, no problem, with lots of water thrown on there. The Tombos are the only thing that have a teeny bit of an issue. They don't like to blend too well, but otherwise everything else is great. And what I did do in here is I did this watercolor Moon and Roses. This is going to be a tutorial for my paid subscribers over on Substack and also my patrons. I am leaving the Patreon app because I just don't like the way they run the business end of what they do over there. So we're all going to be heading over to Substack, and I'll be doing, this will be the first art tutorial over there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I used, like I said, I used watercolors and Sakura micron pens. Sakura micron pens are waterproof, so you can do your outlining in black, and then, you know, give it about an hour to be sure that that ink is good and dry, and then you go over it with your watercolors. There's no smearing. It's great. So that's that project we'll be doing. I have some other sketches of some artwork that I'm working on. I don't know if you can see all those because the pencil's kind of light, but I love the Quirky Cups journals. Again, this paper can take everything. She's online at the Quirky Cup Collective. I believe it's either .com or .au. I will find out. All the links will be posted in the description of this video below, along with my affiliate codes and my affiliate links, so you can check them out there. And in today's video, we've gone over my recommendations on brands of art journals for you to use, where you can obtain them. Remember, my affiliate codes are down below. I would very much appreciate if you'd use them. That would help support this channel at no additional expense to you, and you save some money. So hey, win-win-win, right? So thank you for watching. If you have any questions about anything you've seen in the video, anything I've said, please note them below in the comments. I read all my comments, okay? And I will respond to you. And who knows, you may see your question as the topic of my next video here. So thank you for watching. Please give the video a like if you've enjoyed my content. And if you're not already subscribed, please do consider subscribing. And when that subscribe button, when you click on it and that little bell comes up and does its little dance, please click on that little dancing bell and click all on the little menu that will open, because that way you'll receive notifications every time I post, and the notifications will be in your YouTube app notifications within the app. I would appreciate that so much. I tend to post on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is Nefer Khepri, the Cozy Intuitive Creative, wishing you all a blessed day ahead.